Hello and welcome to Headliners, your first in-depth look at Monday's newspapers with three middle-aged, straight, white male comedians. I'm Josh Howie, the straight one, Leo Kirst, the white one, and male Kerry Marks. How are you both?
What a way to find out. I had no idea.
Sorry to break it to you so gently.
I don't even look in the mirror that much, but then I come on here to find out what identity I am.
I would never guess you didn't look in the mirror very often, looking at you now.
That was an insult, right?
Maybe.
I don't even recognise insults, so they don't mean anything to me.
I don't know, it feels like
I'm beyond insult.
I'm just glad that you didn't wear one of your shirts or something, Leo. It would be the two of you together.
It'd be like one of those stereoscopic images.
Elephants
I
would have...
could see a dolphin.
I never could see those. Anyway, right, let's have a quick peek at Monday's front pages. The Telegraph, Reeves is warned changes to IHT will backfire. Mail, tsunami of asbestos deaths in schools. Guardian, Labour wants NHS passports for all patients despite privacy fears. The Times, Rayner sets up council housing revolution. Express, 84% of disabled pensioners will lose winter payment. And finally, Daily Star, invasion of the killer Grinches. Those are your front pages. First up, Leo, there's just so much news in the Telegraph.
So much news. So much on the front page. The main story is that Rachel Reeves, our Chancellor, is warned that changes to IHT will backfire. IHT is her hormone treatment. She's transitioning to being a man. I'm joking. I've seen Rachel Reeves. She's transitioning to being a human. No, this is inheritance tax. Economists, and this isn't just economists on the right. This isn't just a right-wing think tank. This is economists on the right.
You read all economists, don't you?
I do, yeah, and also economists from the Treasury. So this is, the civil service who are going to be enacting what Rachel Reeves' decisions are in the budget. They say that her move to increase inheritance tax will increase bureaucracy for bereaved families and is unlikely to raise additional revenues for the Treasury. So she's going to extend the current 7-year rule around inheritance tax. So currently, if you pass on wealth before the 7 years, 7 years before you die, you've sort of got to guess when you're going to die.
It's a tricky thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, unless you're
that first fall down the stairs.
Yeah,
Call that West.
Can we transfer 50 grand, please? Yeah, I mean, it's easier if you're the head of Hamas or Hezbollah. Then you can just say, I'm going to die this afternoon.
Yeah, I'm going to start a war.
It's been anointed, so I've got about 12 hours left. But yeah, so she wants to increase the 7-year rule to 10 years, which is then families are going to have to keep records for more than 10 years. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's so, and also gifts passed on before 5 years only raise 7 million. They're only responsible for £7 million of the 4 billion inheritance tax.
Okay.
So we're talking absolute piddling.
Well, so it's either going to be people are going to pass those gifts on earlier.
Yeah.
If it goes to 10 years, or they're going to have to keep their parent alive for an extra 3 years.
That's the reason. That's why parents should be giving away all their money.
Parents would be, do you think they'll be for this rule again?
Yeah, absolutely. But what can the government do to raise money? It seems like everything that is
everything's going to backfire. Everything will backfire.
Is there any way of getting any money?
By the way, why is it called IHT? Inheritance is one word, right?
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
I know, it's because we're just shortening everything now.
Yeah.
But IHT, that's what all the kids...
No, I'm not accepting this.
Hey, mate, you down with the IHT, you know me.
Yeah.
But so what is the way we're going to raise money, Kerry?
This is all civil servants. Just go through the government and just, honestly, if you fired 3/4 of public sector employees, like maybe not the ambulance drivers and stuff like that, but the ones who sit in council offices, doing policy and things like that, nobody would notice.
Or just fire all of them anyway. Fire everyone. Fire everyone. This is my new plan.
Wow.
And think of the money we'd save. Look, you're right. Everything's going to backfire. And the other thing we're hearing is national insurance for companies. And it's a bit difficult because it sort of goes against Labour's campaign pledges. But then they're arguing it's not having to go, or it's not going to affect working people, which of course everything has a knock-on effect. So it will.
Absolutely.
And we know it's likely to happen because they keep saying we won't rule it out, which means we're going to do it. It's that wording of I'm seeing your girlfriend tonight, and I won't rule out chatting her up. You think, well, I feel like that's already wrong. That's already clearly you're going to do it.
I feel like they've just released all this information to just see how people will respond.
Yeah.
And then they go, oh no, we're not going to do that.
Testing the waters with everything.
You think we're going to get a mad sort of Milton Friedman, real libertarian, they're like, psych, we're actually going to fire all those public sector workers and cut all the tax.
Exactly. So the other big story here is about the NHS streeting. Wes Streeting, our health secretary, is kind of saying he's going to make some changes. He's going to save the NHS. We've got 10 years. He's going to turn it all around. One of the things they're talking about here, Leo, is passports, NHS passports.
Yeah, and that's on the cover of the Guardian as well. But yeah, he's going to give, the NHS is set to give millions of smartwatches and wearable tech to track their health as part of Labour's 10-year plan to save the health service. What they're going to do is track your location, so they can then drone strike you when they find out, you've sent a tweet that goes against government policy. But yeah, they're talking about turning the health service into a neighbourhood health service, which sounds like it's going to be your neighbour Dave doing your surgery. I'm not sure care in the community works so well when it's real complicated doctor stuff instead of just looking after somebody.
There's some of the stuff that they've been talking about. It feels like to me for at least 10 years, if not more, about putting all your records together so they can be accessed across the UK. It seems like, how has it not happened? Because every time they try to do it, they go, oh, suddenly it costs an extra billion, trillion. And
the good side of it is that we have access to our records that way. We can finally find out what the doctors are saying about us. I bet it's not good.
Difficult.
But yeah, there's this feeling of it being on the edge or leaning towards sliding fast into the nanny government thing of it goes along with the everyone's got to live longer, but then we're going to complain about having an ageing society. And there's this, the banning drinking, banning smoking from outdoors is probably going to be on the cards fairly soon, which I'm totally against. I think outdoors should be for smokers.
It's better than indoors.
Indoors, smokers should, non-smokers indoors, and the outdoors is for smokers.
I agree, but I think wilderness. I think we should drop all the smokers off sort of out in Alaska somewhere.
Don't ruin this plan.
Okay.
I kind of think, what about people who want to make bad choices because they're badass?
Yeah.
Oh,
rock and roll.
Those
like
people.
You. Well, like that shirt, you mean?
That's a really good decision. People like it.
Well, we'll see.
Right in.
There's also this story about Israel's plan to launch an air attack on Iran has been leaked. So the US has launched an investigation into this leaking of 2 alleged intelligence documents that detailed Israel's preparation for a potential strike on Iran in the coming days. This is, after the ballistic missiles and everything were launched from Iran towards
And a recent attack on Benjamin Netanyahu's home as well, a drone attack from Hezbollah,
I mean, to be fair, Israel have done some stuff as well. Yeah. But,
they've taken out leaders of terrorist organisations, though, not a government, not a sovereign government leader yet.
Have you been on Instagram?
But Ayatollah's probably getting nervous, so I think you're right.
You want to see what 15-year-old girls are saying on Instagram? Apparently, Benjamin Netanyahu.
I really don't.
This is interesting because this could have come from Kamala Harris's coterie of individuals who support her, and some people in the Democrats are openly
one of Biden's naps. Morning, afternoon, evening.
There could be Islamists
infiltrating the US government.
Who are leaking this to Iran. So this is, it could even be Kamala herself. I mean, this is the downside of having it.
But it's probably not.
This is the downside of having an inclusive culture and policy.
So you're saying they shouldn't have any Islamists?
You include Islamists.
I see, OK.
There's people saying it was deliberate. We're saying that, Israel or the Biden administration deliberately leaked this stuff so that they could trip up the Ayatollah or whatever. But there's no way America would deliberately want to look this incompetent. It was just incompetent.
Yeah.
Incredibly. And what happened was after Ukraine, when they did their incursion into Russia, they didn't tell America, and Israel didn't tell America about the pages and so on and the walkie-talkies. And then that caused a load of complaints. You're supposed to be sharing this information with us. And now that they do, it gets leaked out. So where does that leave Israel now? It's and Ukraine, really. Keep it to themselves.
Leo, let's go to the Daily Mail. It's kind of reminding me of Grange Hill. Getting those vibes, 90s, 80s.
Yeah, but instead of a sausage on a fork, it's asbestos. So there's a tsunami of asbestos deaths in schools coming up. Hundreds of thousands of former pupils and teachers could die. And this should worry everybody, because I think everybody in the country is either a former teacher or a former pupil of a school.
No, I went to a private school, so I'm fine.
You avoided all education. No, private schools were probably made from this stuff as well. Everything was made from asbestos over a certain period in Britain's history. And since, I thought they were being alarmist that hundreds of thousands of people could die. But since 1980, at least 1,400 teachers and 12,600 pupils have died from mesothelioma, or however it's pronounced.
Take a run up.
You
can do it, mate. I believe you.
Mesothelioma. Mesothelioma.
Anyway, which is caused by
asbestos and is a cancer. Malcolm McLaren died from it.
I thought that this stuff had all been removed.
I thought it had been done.
I saw a Casualty episode or something about 15 years ago.
1999 was when we banned asbestos, and we're on cladding now. We've moved on. We were in the cladding age, and we're now back to the asbestos
But
age.
90s is very much in fashion.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? A reprisal?
Ironically, asbestos would be great cladding because it doesn't burn.
You're right. So you're suggesting we go back to asbestos?
Yeah, maybe it's time for, the cycle is done.
Yeah, and then it would only affect smokers because it'd be outside.
Yeah.
Kerry, what's the star enlightening us with?
I'm sure it's something really important.
Yes, it is.
8-toothed tree-eating fun sponge. Wow, that's a hell of a name for a beetle. That's the beetle. An 8-toothed tree-eating fun sponge beetle, aiming to annihilate festive joy. There's an invasion of these. They call them the killer Grinches. It says a horde of misery guts. They're misery guts. Well, what's wrong with them? 8-toothed beetles from Europe are doing their best to upset Santa by eating their way through all our Christmas trees.
You finally got there in the end. That was a long lead-in.
They're just beetling.
Our Christmas trees are under threat.
Our Christmas trees are under threat from
Now,
beetles.
is there any
But
suggestion
no, it's important to mention that they are tree-eating fun sponge beetles.
as well? Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you buy a
They
Christmas
eat fun.
Do you buy a Christmas tree before we go?
No, but I do have a fun sponge. Take it into the bath with me.
You don't want that being eaten, do you? Leave my fun sponge alone.
Okay, let's let people's imagination run rife during the break. That's the front page's expertly exploited